Hello lovely people, how are you all doing today? I hope you're well. I hope you're cosy. For goodness sakes, I've got a hoodie on again, long sleeve t-shirt, vest. It's summer. It's, what are we, like the middle of June? Oh my goodness, and the weather it's another foul day. I look out the window, the remains of that tree that I need to take out, it's kind of going sideways. I sit in the front at my desk and all the trees out there, sideways, rain. It's chilly. A couple of nights ago, it was it was about 10 o'clock in the evening, I'd stopped for the day, I was on the sofa, I had my book, and I thought, am I going to need to put the heating on? It's ridiculous, it's June. Looked at the thermometer, it was 14 degrees. 14 is lousy. I mean, 14 if you're outside and busy, or even indoors and busy, fine. But when you're sitting still, 14 is horrid. What is that in old money? 14, 20, it's about 58 Fahrenheit. So I made myself a hot water bottle. Anyway, yeah, it's another grotty day. I'm emptying my penny jar. It's almost empty for a very special reason. So I'm going to get on with all sorts today. I've had quite a sort of an admin morning to do with the building and all sorts. I won't go into it. It's tedious. It's making me want to pull my own brain out sideways via my ears. But now, yeah, all sorts of little bits and bobs. This is kind of my lunchtime. Get on with some bits and bobs and then get on with some more work this afternoon. So one of the things I'm doing, I'm emptying my penny jar. I know some of you have been with me for a while, you'll have seen my penny jar before. It always used to be for Christmas. So I'd start it at the beginning of December, bear with me, and it would go through to November the following year. And come the end of November, I take it all out, take it to the bank, and I use that for Christmas stuff like buying presents, cards, what have you. I don't have presents to buy these days, you know, because my mum decided she didn't want to do gifting anymore. And obviously with my sister being dead, I don't have a sister to buy for. So I've kept the jar going, and it's like, well, it might be treats for me. Actually, with the cost of postage, Christmas postage, but I'm raiding it today for a very special reason, and I've got all my little bank sacks ready. So when I used to do it when I was in London, I just used to all the coins, take them in one of my cloth bags, tip them all into a machine. It was like it had a sort of a centrifuge in it, and it would spin them, and it was really loud, and it was like, yay, it's exciting, I'm at the fairground kind of thing. And as the last one got counted, it would go ping on the display, and it would tell you how much money it was, and then you get a little receipt out. Take receipt to the counter, and they pay that into your account for you. Brilliant. I loved that machine. Don't have it here, so that's why I'm back to the money bags. So this will go, I'll pay it in at the post office, but pay it into my bank account. And the reason I'm doing it is, there's no way I'm going to be able to count and talk if I didn't think that through. I'll finish chatting, then I'll count, and then I'll tell you how much it was. And actually I want to move into the front room for a couple of things too. Yes, so many of you know I love my books. I've got a book to tell you about here. I love my books. I love growing veggies. I love being by or in the sea. These are the great passions of my life. But also one of my big passions is sport. It's always a tricky one. What's your favourite sport? I would say I have a top 3, and that is athletics, particularly if it's an Olympic cycle, if it's at the Olympics. Athletics, cycling, and tennis. I mean, I love all sports. Gymnastics, I love it. When the Winter Olympics come around, every 4 years I become a curling expert for a few days. Yeah, love it all, love it all. But the big ones, every summer, well, athletics, of course, but Wimbledon and the Tour de France. They make my summer perfect for me every year. I haven't been as glued to Wimbledon in the last few years as I used to be. And I think it's just since Federer retired, because I absolutely loved his game, loved watching him. And then of course Andy and Rafa. Sorry, am I jiggling the table? I thought you looked wonky. I was jiggling the table against you. Yeah, Andy Murray and Rafa Nadal. But also with the Williams sisters going, and I used to really like Simona Halep and Aga Radwanska. So it's like all my favourites have disappeared and I don't feel quite so connected to it anymore. Except, I don't know what's going to happen because I think her partner is injured, but I loved this week at Queen's the return of Serena. Walking onto court, serene as always, and then, wow, just unleashing her power. She is woman warrior. I absolutely, oh, be still my beating heart, I adore Serena Williams. So, yeah, anyway, I'm digressing. She's teamed up this year with a Canadian lass, I say lass, she's 19. She's a woman, but a very young woman, Victoria Mboko. And yeah, they won their first match. Woo! But I think Mboku's now injured. We'll see. Anyway, sorry, that's Wimbledon. The reason I'm counting my money, it's for the Tour de France. Whoa, can't wait. It starts on the 4th of July. It starts on my birthday. The Grand Départ is on my birthday. So exciting. It's not on Freeview TV this year. It was on, for the last 10 years, ITV4 had the contract, or ITV3, I can't remember which one. You can go on the hub, online, it's totally free, and there's hours and hours and hours of footage, coverage, it's brilliant. Their contract is finished, much as they had the contract for Roland Garros, the French Open tennis, finished. So I looked into how can I watch it, you know, what platform is it on, do I have to pay, what am I going to have to pay? So I found it, I've forgotten the name of the platform, sorry. If you want to watch it, just Google, how do I watch the Tour de France in the UK, or from the UK. So I had a look and did a bit of a gulp. A part of the gulp is I was thinking, people do this month in, month out. It's £31 a month. 31 quid. That's a lot of money. It's £1 a day. And I hummed and hawed. And then I thought, do you know what? I mean, for goodness sakes, as my friend Kate would say, I live on fumes. I just don't spend, rarely treat myself. I have treats at Christmas, of course. But so I decided, yeah, I'm going to fork out and pay for it. I really hope their coverage is as good as ITV's coverage was, because the commentary team are part of what made it so special. So it may be that I do it this year and I hate the coverage and I don't do it again, but I need 31 quid. So, hence, oh, money, it's so dirty, isn't it? Hence, counting my pennies today. Hopefully, there'll be 31 quid in this jar. In other years, when I've come to count it just before Christmas, it has ranged anywhere between 60 and 100 quid in there. Something that it's had half a year, there ought to be 30 quid, fingers crossed. And then I have to work out how to actually do it all online. God help me, tech. Where there's a will, there's a way, and I will work it out. Right. Okay, oh, other news, I had a parcel, thank you. Someone sent me some food bits, chickpeas and a couple of tins of coconut milk. Thank you, whoever you are who sent these. There was no label, but yeah, chickpeas. I always get through chickpeas. Thank you. How lovely. I think is that a kilo? It feels like a kilo. It is a kilo. That'll keep me going for a while. Also, my neighbour had another half a dozen eggs. I've had 2 already. How special. Free food. I'm not going to say no. I would never buy eggs for myself, but I These are just a few chickens this person keeps on their small holding, and they're massively producing more than they can get through, so thank you very much. Let me tell you about this book. I'll tell you about this book briefly. James Canton, The Oak Papers. I'm not really sure how I feel about the book. The premise is this guy, James Canton, he goes to visit an ancient oak. I think ancient qualifies as being 400 years or more old. This particular one is about 800 years old. And it's in the grounds of an old country estate. And it's the last ancient oak standing on that bit of land. There had been others that were cut down in the 50s. Oh, what were they thinking? Replaced by pine plantations. I mean, ugh. Anyway, he goes to visit this oak and sort of falls in love with it. And over the next, I think about 3 years or so, he keeps a diary of him visiting this oak and subsequently 2 other oaks. I think he moves house part way through, and at his new home there are 2 oaks he goes to visit. So there's quite a bit of the book is in diary format. And it's interspersed then, and the interspersed bits were the ones that engaged me more. So the interspersed bits were, some of it's about the history of the use of oak in the UK. There's quite a lot in there about, historical sort of worship of oaks. So we sort of get into paganism, sorry, something in my eye, paganism, druidism, but generally sort of country lore and folklore around oak trees. He goes off and meets all sorts of different people throughout the course of the book. An artist who spent 2 years painting the same oak tree at different times. I think he created 50 paintings of this one particular tree. Goes to meet a woodworker. So he meets various people and has conversations. I really enjoyed those bits actually. It really sort of brought the book to life. The reason for my ambivalence, and it might just be my own mood at the moment. I'm always aware that my own mood can affect how I receive a book. The diary entries, they're really lovely. They're incredibly quiet and gentle. And it's just, he's sort of observing what he sees, the different insects, the different birds, the birds he can hear calling but can't see, the weather, how the tree looks, whether it's in full leaf or naked in the winter. So it's incredibly gentle. My ambivalence, I suppose, is because the diary entries, and I'd say it's about half and half. We might have, say, 10, 15, 20 pages of the diary entries and then 10, 15 pages of the other stuff. It felt repetitive in the end. It felt quite repetitive. I think they're the sort of entries, maybe if you read one a day and read it almost as a meditation, I think it'd be lovely. But there's also a sense, I think he's having some kind of crisis in life, reading between the lines, and I think I read somewhere on the cover somewhere, I'm not sure. He's got a couple of kids, youngish kids, and I think his relationship with his partner, the mother of his children, I think that's breaking down during the course of all this. I don't know if they end up divorced. It feels like that other house at the end, he's moved. I'm not quite sure. It's never explicitly explained. But, so his diary entries, he keeps saying, why am I drawn to this tree? What is it about it? Am I trying to become a tree? Am I having something spiritual? Why do I keep coming back here? But that's almost every entry. Why am I here? What am I doing? What am I feeling? And that's maybe the thing that wasn't quite right for me at the moment reading this. I kind of half recommend it. if your library has it, I might put this in my shop. You know, have a read, make up your own mind. It's only a short book, it's only about 220 odd pages. And like I said, all the intervening bits, the sort of the history and him meeting other people, I really enjoyed that and really sort of tucked into it. But by the end, I thought my feeling for him and his diary bit was, okay, we're 3 years into this now, you still don't know what you're doing. And that's okay. I think that's okay on a personal level, but you know, as a book form, does it work as a book? I'm not sure. Read it and see for yourself what you think. My water's on the other side of the room. Give me a second. Actually, what I'll do is I'm going to count the pennies, come back and tell you what I've got, and then we'll move on to other stuff. Yes, I've got all sorts of notes, things that are, oh yeah, the polls. Right, let me do the counting and then we'll come back. Right, well, I've done my tot up and I didn't have quite enough, so I've also raided my 50p pot. I keep a 50p pot too. So I've ended up with 20 quid in 20 pence pieces. And honestly, this is just, so for those who don't know, I take out my 50 quid at the beginning of the week, and that's for everything. That's for food, bus fares, it's also for looking out for buying things for my shop, what have you, it's for everything. And at the end of a day, if I've been out and about, any of these loose coins, 20p's, 5p's, whatever, I put them in my pot, and at the end of the week, anything that's left over, I either put it into my post office savings, or I just leave it in my purse, carry it over to the next week, and if there's 10 quid left over, the following week I'll only take 40 quid out to live on. So I'm saying that because I don't notice it. I don't kind of take all this money out and go, oh, now I'm really, really short. So it's really handy then, a few months later, to have a little bit of spending money. So there's 20 in the 20 pence pieces. There's £3.60 in 20p's, so that needs building up. I'm nearly there with the 5p's. They need to be in a £5 bag, and it's £3.70. 79 pence in pennies. So I'll keep them in their bags for now as the weeks go by. When I'm emptying my purse, I'll put it straight into there, and then I can pop it into my savings. So I raided the 50p pot, so that's a tenner in 50p's. So that gives me 30. I need 31. I'll have a couple more 50p's out. By the way, before anyone says it about 50p's, some of them are, oh, they're really valuable. I did actually look at my 50p's about 2 weeks ago, and none of them were anything special. I think there was an older one, and it's maybe worth, well, it's only worth what someone will pay, but there were tons of them on eBay for £1, and I thought, do you know what, by the time it takes me to photograph it and get it uploaded onto eBay, and then I've got to parcel it and post it and send it to someone and it isn't worth it to make 50p. So, oh, I've just thought as well, okay, so I've got I'll add a couple of 50p's. I've got my 31 quid for the TV bit. The rest, 370, 677, 38. Sorry. The rest might do me to buy my souvenir programme, which I really love each year for the Tour de France, because it's got it's like proper maps, proper Ordnance Survey maps, so I can follow the route. There's tons of info. I just love it. Now, I'm aware that there are some people who might think this is kind of mad, you know, with that 31 quid, or with the programme as well, it's going to be 40 quid. You could restock your pantry for that. Yes, I know. But look, there's got to be more to life than just stocking the pantry, you know? Stocking the pantry and paying bills, if that's all I ever do, week in, week out, then my God, what a miserable life. My life isn't miserable, by the way. And I know that for some people that's they have no choice. My heart goes out to them, but I'm not prepared to go through an entire year without a single treat. because it would drive me insane. You know, I don't take holidays, I don't eat at restaurants, I don't eat takeaway food. I was thinking about the holidays the other year. In over 20 years, I think 22, 20, I've had 2 one-week holidays in 20 years. So I'm not profligate with my money, which is why I was able to pay off my mortgage, etc., etc. But likewise, I'm not going to be a complete miser and deny myself the huge, huge amount of pleasure I will get from the Tour de France. Now, I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. I know probably the vast majority of you can't think of anything worse. But imagine for yourself something that would bring a whole month, what, 3 weeks, 3 weeks of pleasure. What would you pay for 3 weeks of unadulterated pleasure? Well, I'm going to be paying a minimum of 31, probably more like 40 odd, 12, £13 a week for 3 weeks for absolute joy. I can't wait. I really, really hope that our coverage is good. Now, mentioning the bean poles, they're still there because the weather's foul. I think within the next couple of days, we're supposed to be getting drier, a little bit warmer. I think we're still going to be below average for the time of year. I mean, at the moment we're sitting around 15 or 16, which is crazy. It should be more like 19, 20. So drier, a bit warmer, not hugely sunny, but at least drier, so I can get on and carry on in the garden with the bean poles. So I bought the bean poles at Nixon's. Yay, good old Nixon's. That's so brilliant in there. So I popped down there a couple of days ago between rain showers again. It looked like we had a window of about an hour when it would be dry, so I thought, right, quick, leg it. Post office. I had a library book to take back. I thought I'll pop to Nixon's, a couple of other bits and bobs, do a whiz around, can I get it all done in an hour? And the sun came out. It's like, oh my goodness, the sun actually came out. I mean, the pavements everywhere are still damp, but the sun was out, it was gorgeous. So I went into Nixon's, went up to the counter where, you know, you check out, but also if you've got an inquiry about something or other, go to the counter. And there were 2 of the women behind the counter. I was trying to work out their staff numbers the other day. I don't know how many people work there in total, but maybe 8 or so. I'm trying to think. Those 2 younger lads, old guy. I don't know, maybe 6 or 8, maybe even 10 people. In other words, one sees the same staff regularly. So I bowled up to the counter and I said, good morning, how are you all today? And they were like, oh yeah, okay, oh, the weather. And I said, yeah, I'm just dashing between showers. I've come to ask if you've got any 6-foot bean poles left, because they don't keep them on the shop floor, they're kept out the back. Have you got any 6-foot bean poles left? And if you have, please may I have 6? Thank you. And one of the women went off straight away to fetch them, and the other woman said, seeing as you've asked so nicely, yes. And I joked, I was like, well, yeah, of course ask nicely, you know, it's the right thing to do. We got into a bit of a conversation and I thought, and it kind of stayed in my mind for a little while. We got into a conversation about customers' behaviour, and the customer isn't always right, by the way. I know I've worked in retail. But she was saying what a nice change my approach to the counter was. She said she gets so many people, and I think it's mostly visitors because they don't know this, I don't know, but who'll come in and just literally, this is what she said, they'll shove something in her face and say, how much is this? So no hello, no how do you do, no morning, and no sort of, please could you tell me how much this item is? Yeah, so she said my attitude made a change. And then I was saying to her, it's like when you're on a really narrow pavement, and I'm aware I can take up quite a bit of space if I'm pulling my trolley, my granny trolley, and I've got a stick in the other hand, and because I sway a bit from side to side with my limp, I'm kind of taking up a lot of space. So I'll quite often squish myself to a wall to let someone else pass. Now I've got to say down here, oh my goodness, 99 times out of 100, I'll end up having eye contact with the person coming towards me. There'll be a smile and they'll say thank you, or actually quite often they're the ones, they'll even step just onto the gutter to let me pass, thank you. But if I step aside to let someone pass and they don't give me eye contact, they don't give me a smile, and they don't even say thank you, that drives me insane. Anyway, so this is what we were chatting about in the shop, and I was saying how it doesn't take anything, it doesn't cost the customer anything to smile at the staff, to say please and thank you. It doesn't cost anyone anything. A smile costs nothing, but it can hugely change someone's day, especially you know, conversing, a frown and a grumpy, how much is this? It made me wonder about our shopping habits, and is it possibly, because I said she was saying that she feels it's more prevalent, that's getting more prevalent, and I wonder if it's because people shop online so much. Have we forgotten how to interact with another human being? Is that what's going on? I don't understand it. For me, there's absolutely no excuse for rudeness. There's no excuse for the lack of the most basic manners of please and thank you. I don't understand people who don't. And you know what, I've had to go to the shops on occasions when I've been in a foul mood, if I've just got off the phone and I haven't been able to get a refund for something, or my bank isn't working, or yet another conversation about the roof, whatever it is. I've gone out and I've been in such a foul mood. Because I'm so frustrated, and frustration then drives me to anger. But even so, when I approach the counter, I always say, good morning, how are you? The bare minimum is please and thank you. So anyway, that all came out of me buying my 6x 6 foot bamboo canes. I only need 5, but knowing how dyspraxic I am, I thought, let's have 6. We'll have around half dozen, so that if by then the other woman had brought the poles into the shop from out the back, and I said, I actually only need 5. She said, oh, well, just buy 5, you know, because they sell them individually. I said, no, I'm going to have 6. A, in case I step on one and break it. I said, but B, what's the point? In case I can squeeze one more plant in somewhere, just one more plant in my little itty bitty garden. Right, so I'll have to go to the post office with this, get it paid in, then go online and find out how on earth I do this paid for TV streaming service. When I looked at it, I did check, I think I checked, I'm such a Luddite. Yay for the Luddites amongst us. Hello, Judith. I did check that I could do it on my laptop rather than doing it via a smartphone. A smartphone, I know as phones go, they're quite big, but as screens go, that's tiny. You can't, how are you going to watch a whole anyway, so I've checked that I can do it on my laptop. We'll see. Excited. Right, now I'm going to go in the front room. Come with me to the front room. I'm looking for something. I've lost something that I really want to find. So let's go on a hunt in the front room. I'm looking for my gardening notebook. After unpacking all the books and putting them on the shelves, so I still haven't found my gardening notebook. Now, hang on a sec, I'm just going to tip you up until I'm going to go into this bottom drawer. I don't keep extensive notes in it. It's literally, it's dates that I note. So I make a note of when I sowed the seed. Sometimes I make a note of when it's germinated. Certainly when I've pricked it out or potted it on. And finally, the important one is when it's actually been planted out in the garden somewhere. And so like I said, it's really scant notes, but the reason for doing that is over the years it's helped me to adjust when I start things. So I might start something and then, oh my goodness, it's ready way too soon. It's still way too cold to plant it out in the garden. I'm thinking of something like, say, tomatoes. Or, oh, I started it a bit late. I could do with eking it forward a bit. You get the idea. Now, this time last year, well, I'd only moved in April. I didn't start clearing in the back garden until the beginning of May. And so it was really lastminute.com. I threw some tomato seeds and squash seeds in on the 23rd of April, which was really late. So in my head, I was thinking that's really, really late. Of course, because I couldn't find my garden journal notebook, I couldn't remember exactly what dates I'd sown them in previous years. Anyway, as it happened, that all turned out fine. And the reason I'm thinking about it now is this year, some things I'm thinking, did I go a bit too soon? But also what I'm thinking is before everything's planted out, before all the labels I erase the details on them and wash them and put them away to reuse next year. But before I do that, so on one side of it, the label, it will say what the seed is. Even if it's something obvious like tomato, before they've come up, I'll still put a label in to say tomato so I know what that tray is. But on the back of that label, I'll write the date of sowing. And then when they get pricked out, potted on, I'll write that date down too. So yeah, before all those labels get cleaned, washed, put away for next year, I wanted to find them. So I wanted to find my notebook so I could actually put those notes in it. Sit me down. So I thought, is it possibly going to be in this drawer? Quickly opened it last night and I thought, no, I'm going to do it tomorrow. But when I opened it, I thought, actually, I could do with having a bit of a sort out. I'm not going to do masses. Because there's one thing here definitely that I can send to the charity shop. So I pick these kind of things up in charity shops. They're like week-long. How are we doing for light? Ooh, you know, a 1 week at a glance planner. They're so vital for me because, like I said, I'm always juggling so many different things. That one, there's about 15 weeks left on that one. It's about 4 months, isn't it? So July, August, September. That'll probably take me into October. This one was 52 sheets, 1 sheet per week for the year. I've used a couple, but essentially between them, they're going to keep me going till October 2027. Had to really think then. They're great because they're compact, but this is just too big for my sort of desk space that I've got here. Again, it says at the top, I am really busy. I don't know if that'll pick up because the light's reflecting. It's still in its original packaging. I am really busy. Trying to do away with that word a bit and say, I am really productive. But yeah, it's just too big. I always had a splash of something, I'll clean it up. Again, I would have picked this up in a charity shop. So I'll clean that little splodge off. I don't know what it is. I'm going to take that to one of my charity shops because they should be able to get £4 for that. These things new aren't cheap. And then with the my two remaining ones that are going to see me through till next year, till about October, I've got all that time to keep my eyes peeled in the charity shops for another one of the slightly more compact version, and yeah, pick one up along the way. Trusty old clipboard. Yeah, it used to hang in my shed. I used it when I was project managing, sorting Auntie Teapot's house out. Do I really need a clipboard anymore? I don't think I do. This wasn't supposed to be a clear out. I just can't imagine. Oh, I've just thought of somewhere else it could be. It's just all stationery here, and I don't think there's stationery and there's watercolour paper, and yeah, it's all kind of art supplies, and that's my shop label tags, and then my paint, all my paint brushes and cliffy stuff, paint, more paint. So, no, it's not in there. It's not in there. That is still definitely an art drawer, art and bits of stationery. So, yeah, let's think about this other place so they can go back in. But I'll be glad to take that to the charity shop. I mean, it's not, I'm not, look, hold on a second. droopy drawers today. This isn't about having a mega clear out. It's more about, you know, every now and again having a look through things and rationalising. I don't think there's anything there to go. It's all bits of stationery. You know, just kind of. I don't think of myself as a clutter person. I'm not really, you know, yeah, I don't do clutter. I don't hoard, I don't have stacks and stacks of things, but even so, every now and again, I think it's useful to just go through the drawers and think, are there things I can let go of? Are there things I can give to a charity shop to sell that someone else will really be happy to get, you know, at a good price? Charity shop will make a bit of money. I always try to think of the charity shops first, wherever possible. Let's go to the other side of the room, because I've just thought about somewhere else this blooming journal might be, because it isn't on the bookshelves. It's definitely not on the shelves. I've been through them twice. You look like you're towering over me. I usually have you a bit lower down, never mind. I just thought, I wonder, because my big basket has become a bit of a catch-all in the last few months. I'm not in a hurry to put any of my blankets away with the way this weather has been. I mean, good grief. That's the ticking from the bed I made for my dog. I'm going to make that into something else. Ah, yes. I've got bits and bobs of... Oh, I thought so. Oh my goodness, this is it's like Christmas. Hold on, let me get this off my lap. I've got bits and bobs of linens that I bought. I washed them, pressed them, but I've not had a chance to... God, there's tons here, I forgot. I've not had a chance to photograph them because the weather's been so... Because I want to photograph tablecloths outside. This one's inside out, so you won't be able to see it, but you can see the stitching on the back. There's that one. There's this one. So they were washed and pressed, but they've been folded away. Oh, some fab tea towels. Oh, that's so cute. British Wildlife. Yeah, these all need... You know what, if the weather's half decent next week, I can give everything a wash again, and then it can all air on the line outside. What's this one? It's Lincolnshire. I love these place ones. Happy 90th birthday, Queen Elizabeth. Oh my goodness, I've forgotten half of these. And it goes on. Oh, there's some scraps I bought. Ideas for those. Another, that's a lovely one. I think, was that a National Trust one? Yeah. So, all these linens need washing, pressing, but also in here I've got my book Wheat Weaving, which can now go on this shelf, and my box of art straws that I was practicing with. They can go in the cupboard under the shelves. Oh no, it's not in here. Oh, I've forgotten that. Right, I can't find the gun, but this is one that Paul passed on to me, The Ship Beneath the Ice. Completely forgotten about that. He got this. Was it as he was leaving the library? There was some kind of random incident where I think the guy had said to Paul, "You look like an explorer. Are you interested in polar exploration?" And Paul said, "No, but I know a lass who is." So yeah, just a random encounter. Where the heck is my gardening notebook? Right, everybody have a look round now. look under cushions, look under the sofa. I just don't know where it can be. I know it came with me. I mean, there was nothing left in that flat other than there was a whole pile of stuff I left for my buyer, but it was all, I left everything in the kitchen in a neat pile with paperwork and everything. There are boxes under the stairs, not boxes as in I haven't unpacked, boxes as in my little white storage boxes. Would it have been in that? Am I now having a photographic memory and okay, I need to go up into that cupboard to put some things away another day. I'm going to have a step ladder day to do window cleaning and up into that cupboard, and I think in my mind's eye I can see it in one of those white boxes. It's in the white box. Should we lay bets? I'm not a betting person, but I think it's in the white box with my old Teddy Robinson, and my ragdoll topsy-turvy. Anyway, didn't find it today, but yay, all those linens, brilliant, brilliant. I can restock my shop once the weather improves enough for me to wash, press them, get them aired outside and photographed on my garden table. I need to think about, this was my lunchtime. Oh, look at that, it's 2:30. I need to get back to work. So I'll have a quick bite to eat. I'm having soup for lunch today. I'm having my cauliflower sweet potato dal soup because it's so yummy and filling and perfect for, yeah, a bit of a chilly day. So I'm going to love you all and leave you all and start the hunt again another day. So until the next one, please, lovelies, take care of yourself. Hope you can find all your missing bits and bobs at some point. I'll see you really soon, maybe even in the garden if the weather cheers up. Until then, cheerio.